Welcome to Stop Dating Losers, the only show that tells you the real truth about modern day relationships. Let's go ahead and begin, shall we? All right, first comment to review here. Oh, we got a big one. Many marriages today aren't failing because marriage doesn't work. They're failing because people don't pick right. That's very true, yes. You can't plant a rotten seed and expect a fruitful harvest. The problem isn't the institution, it's the foundation. If you marry wrong, you'll spend a lifetime praying for peace in a house you built on chaos. Choosing a spouse is not about feelings, looks, or chemistry. It's about discernment. People don't change after marriage, they just reveal what you ignored before it. Okay, well, not a perfect comment. Let's go ahead and butcher it a little bit here. Yes, it's mainly true that you fail from the very beginning. You should have seen the red flags. There's sometimes red flags. It doesn't mean that the marriage is going to fail. It just means that, are these red flags that we can work with? Are they salvageable? Can we take them down and substitute them with the green flag? Good to go, right? That's the point. Just because somebody has red flags, it doesn't mean that you should just avoid them. It depends. How big of a red flag is it? Some of them are best to avoid completely. Like, this person is showing abusive signs of behavior, so maybe it's just not worth the headache. You can't change somebody. Maybe you can influence them, but I would stay far away from abusive cases. But other than that, yes, it's not the institution of marriage that the problem. It's you. Unless you live even in a communist world, I imagine you should still be able to choose your partner unless it's an arranged marriage scenario. So you have all the responsibility. You can't start complaining if your marriage fails or your relationship starts going south and say, oh, marriage never works, it doesn't work, what about your ancestors? All the happy marriages back then. You think you can't do it just because time has passed by? Humanity doesn't change like that. Newsflash, marriage isn't the problem. So yes, I agree 100%. It's who you choose to become entangled with for a potential marriage. But yeah, let's go ahead and further look at this. You spend praying for peace in a house and you built so don't build your marriage on chaos. We established that. It is about looks, feelings, and chemistry. You should be able to have it all, and that's what my book and video explain on my website. A lot more about that. You can have everything. You don't have to play the compromise game. Oh, well, I'm going to sacrifice looks because, let's say a guy looking for a woman, right? Well, she doesn't look so hot, but she, I talk with guys who they just want somebody who knows how to cook, clean, and be a good mother in the future. That's ridiculous. I mean, where's the chemistry? Where's the physical chemistry? Are you attracted to her? Because a lot of guys are straight up stupid. Because they'll choose a woman who's more like a maid to cook and clean and to become a good mother, potentially. I don't know. You haven't seen her become a mother yet. You can't make such a prediction. Unless everything else is perfect and good to go. She has to be, number one, a team player. Number two, you have to be physically attracted to her. I mean, if there's no physical attraction, then you're either going to end up cheating in the future. I mean, that's being real. Or breaking up / divorcing. The more you lie to yourself saying, no, I don't care about looks, stop lying. Because then you're going to just use a woman to cook and clean and take care of your future kids. Stop it. Every woman wants to be loved inside and out. And so does a man. Any man who denies this, which sadly there's a lot of toxic idiot men today who say, I don't care about looks anymore. I just want... Stop it. Stop it. That means you have no idea what attraction is, what love really is. Yes, looks do matter. Does she have to be the world's 10 out of 10? No, she has to be your 10 out of 10. Does she attract you? And if she gains weight during the marriage, that's something different. You can work on that. But it should be all encompassing, not looks alone, not because you think she's going to become a good mother one day or she knows how to cook and clean alone. It's the whole package. Get that through your skulls if the shoe fits. Otherwise, you're just using and abusing in the future. That's what's going to be in store for you, marrying somebody who you think is going to be, oh, well, a good maid and a good mother. Give me a break. You need the whole package. It's about discernment. Yes, well, a lot of discernment, right? Making wise decisions based on the qualities and lack thereof. So, yeah, people don't change after marriage. They could. That's always possible. So I disagree with him there. They just reveal what you ignored before it. Well, that was your responsibility to cover all bases before saying yes and putting a ring on it, right? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next comment because there's a lot I could say about that, but I said what I needed to say about that. If men care so much about paying child support and really do think the system is out to get them, why don't they stop having unprotected sex outside of marriage? Well, that's kind of putting it in a simplistic way, isn't it? It's not that simple. Yes, you do have a point that men should always practice safe sex. Absolutely. And when you're going unprotected, you're playing, well, Russian roulette. Because there's nothing wrong with sex before marriage, by the way. I completely support it. You need to know how your partner is in the bedroom. Anyone, I don't even care if it's for religious purposes, anyone who says otherwise is unintelligent, naive, and unwise. You're going to marry this person potentially for the rest of your life. If you don't check that big check mark in the bedroom saying, she is fantastic, she is everything I want, sexual compatibility, then you are a fool. And then you probably tell her, you know what, missionary only, you're good to go. I'm just, once again, interested if you can cook and clean and be a good mother to my children. How pathetic is that? If you ask me, it's times 1,000. It's 1,000 times pathetic. And this is where we enter the realm of using each other and saying, no, sex isn't important, looks aren't important. I can do with protected sex maybe once a year. It's an unhealthy relationship. Sex has got to be the heart of the relationship. And that's why passionate couples say the sex is great. And then they get into the problems of yada yada, everything else. But it's got to be there. A huge check mark. In fact, it has to be the first check mark. Are you sexually compatible? Yes or no? Are you each other's fantasies? Yes or no? This isn't rocket science. So, blaming the system for unwanted pregnancies, having to pay multiple child support, well, yeah, that is your problem. That is your responsibility. Own up to it. It's not marriage's fault. It's not the women's fault unless you chose to be with the toxic woman. That is your fault. You have to accept responsibility for your own actions and for yourself. Stop playing the blame game. Maybe it is her fault because she's toxic, but it's just as much your fault for choosing garbage. So you have to get your mind out of this blaming game because the women do it too. Oh, I had a bad divorce, bad husband, bad boyfriend. Oh, now I hate all men. It's just so naive and pathetic. It really is. But that's what's out there, and it has been out there for quite some time. Just a bunch of immaturity. And that's what's lacking. So it's not the fact that people are paying child support, a marriage is not working, blah, blah, blah. No. It's your responsibility as well. So own up to it and move forward. Start all over again. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. Either you start all over again or you live a miserable life at home by yourself, completely just crying yourself to sleep. Maybe you might not cry yourself to sleep for the first year being alone, but eventually you will, and look back at your life saying, what a failure I am, but I'm going to pretend that I'm not every single day I wake up and tell the world it's the women's fault, it's the men's fault. No, it's mostly your fault for not moving forward and focusing on your own future happiness. All right, so the third comment of the show. They say bring back marriage. I say bring back women worth marrying. They're already out there. What just because there's more toxic women out there, well, there's just as many toxic men. Maybe you don't see it because you're biased. How about bring back men and women worth marrying? How about change your toxic attitudes and your weak mindsets? How about that? Stop complaining and start trying to find that woman that, this applies to men because it's a man saying this. How about this guy go try to find a woman that's worth his effort, his time, energy, and love? How about that? Is that so difficult? Bring back marriage. No, bring back maturity. Bring back respect. Bring back the belief that true love exists and that you can have it and attain it. Stop giving up so easily. That's your guys' problem. You give up on yourselves. No matter how much you blame the world and marriage and women, just cry me an ocean. It doesn't do anything. You can cry every single day that, oh, my life is... Then fix it. Take charge. Mount your own horse. Don't let somebody else lead your horse to some lonely pond and say, yeah, you know what? You're a loser like everybody else. I'm going to drag you down with us. Just put your horse of love drinking from this empty pond. It's almost empty. You can just have little sips. No. You deserve an ocean of love. A drinkable ocean, that is, for your love horse. Got to get to riding. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it doesn't have to be so damn hard either. So how about bring back the strength, the courage that a real man has? It's supposed to have. To get out there and make it happen. It's funny because a lot of guys, they have success with their job, financially, maybe some fame, and then they go back home and they live alone. And they think, oh, I'm winning in life. Yeah, sure, in those areas. But there's no one by your side. No one to celebrate with. Oh, I'll celebrate with friends and family. That's a cover-up. That's a cope. Stop it. Your friends and family should want you to have somebody who loves you with all of their heart and soul by your side. That's a real family member, and that's a real friend. Any family member or friend who says, oh, you know what? I think you're happy living alone. Good for you. Then they're pathetic as well, whether they're in love with someone or not. Somebody who's truly in love with their partner should want to spread the wealth of love with everybody. Say, I wish the whole world would have a perfect partner by their side. And it is attainable. But as long as you keep moping around like a loser, you'll always be a loser in that area of your life, your love life. So don't fail in that department. So yes, bring back the maturity, bring back the strength, bring back the wisdom. Marriage without love is one of the loneliest places to be. You can share the same roof, the same bed, and still feel completely alone. Don't marry for looks, pressure, or status. Marry for love, peace, and connection. Because without love, marriage becomes a silent prison. Absolutely. But, you should also marry for looks. I never liked that. So here's a second one where they're, again, putting down looks. You need to have that chemistry there. That physical connection. If you don't, you're just lying to yourself and you're setting yourself up for future failure. Yes, I agree. Don't marry for pressure, no matter who it's coming from, or what it's coming from, or status, because status could be temporary. The only status that should be maintained is how much you love each other. That should always be through the roof. But, yeah, the loneliest places. When your partner doesn't show the same love for you as they've shown 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, however many times ago when you guys first met and the passion was red hot, yeah, suddenly it becomes a dark place. It's just like if you unplug the electricity in a home, now you're back in the caveman days, the ice age. That's how quickly it can all crumble and just feel like nothing. And, that's the feeling when the love is gone. Like the electricity's gone. When the love, it doesn't run out. It's just purposefully not being dished out for whatever reason. Work through your problems and work on love first. That's why looks do matter. You have to be physically attracted. You have to touch each other, make love with each other, to each other, right? That really matters. It really does. So other than that, yes, it does become a silent prison. Because you're the only one who can fix it. You can get advice from yours truly and everybody else, but in the end, you're going to have to be the one to put in the work to take action for yourself. All right, last comment of the show. Divorce is one of those things you never really plan for, yet somehow life takes you there. Well, it could take you there. I'm at the stage now learning to let go, heal, and rediscover who I am outside of a marriage. Some days I feel strong and ready to move forward, and other days it feels like I'm standing still. Well, that's because you still don't have your life correct. I understand. For anyone who's been through this, how do you truly move on? It's not that difficult. You're making it difficult. Not just on paper, but emotionally and mentally. Well, they can't do it for you, buddy. What helped you find peace and build a new chapter after divorce? All right, number one, stop making it so difficult and so melancholy. It's really sad, I get it. You went through a lot of pain after divorce. But you got to start a new chapter in your life. It's time to turn the page. Understand? I mean, yes, of course, you don't plan for tragic things to happen in your life. But if and when they happen, you need to pull yourself up. You need to pull yourself together. You need to say, you know what? I'm not going to join the peanut gallery of losers complaining every single day about, women, right? Yeah, let me go to the bar and drink myself to sleep with alcohol. Don't do that. Don't join the peanut gallery of losers. If anything, sure, go ahead and have some chit chats with the bunch who are complaining as well. Go ahead and vent to yourself. It's good to ventilate your negative emotions. Get it out of your system. But you should come back as soon as possible. It's time to re-engage. And yes, I do mean marriage, but don't rush into marriage, and especially don't rush to the next partner. You need some time for yourself. And like you just said, to heal, to rediscover who you are, to let go of the past, because you definitely don't want to bring all that baggage with you to your next potential partner. But also, it's like a clean slate, right? So you need to be ready to not vent out any past frustrations on your future partner, your next one in line. But not literally the next one in line, but your potential future partner, right? You need to get back on it. And you need to start all over again. That's the way life is. And that's why you feel like life is standing still, because you're alone now. It's okay. It's going to hurt. But once you're done with that heartache, and if you don't get over it, you should probably see a psychologist. You need to get over it as fast as possible, but as complete as possible. Preferentially completely 100% before you choose to potentially move on with somebody else. So yeah, not just on paper. Well, the fact you say that is because you're hesitant, you're scared to move on. And truly move on, only you can answer that. If you are really ready, that's what the word truth means. Only you can answer it, whether it's truly the time or not. So with that said, that goes and takes care of that comment right there. So, if you have a comment that you would like for me to go over on this show, please put it down in the comment section down below. And please have a look at my website for all kinds of relationship solutions. This has been Coach Ben's Stop Dating Losers. Much love, everybody.